Welcome back to Montana this morning. The time is now 6:48. We're checking out the rims this morning. Billings Airport area, 46 cool degrees, lots of green, and more to come with all this rain we're getting. But how much more will we get? Rob Griggs is in for Ed this morning, and he'll tell us just that in a few minutes. For now, let's go ahead and get to news. Tensions between the U.S. and Iran continue to escalate this morning. Last night, President Trump signed off on an airstrike on the Middle Eastern country, but later changed his mind and called it off. White House sources confirmed to CBS News that the decision came after the plans for stages were already underway. A company planning a gravel pit in West Billings near Oscar's Dreamland has stirred emotions. Some living close to the land have concerns, the main one being water. Those residents had a chance to ask questions and give their input last night.
What's going on without water? Where's that coming from? Where's it going to?
Please define the difference between a floodplain and a flood fringe.
The Department of Environmental Quality, the Department of Natural Resources and Conservation, and the Army Corps of Engineers and the county gave answers to those questions. First Mark Materials also answered questions and plans on putting in 2 ponds when it's finished with the open cut mining on 116 acres. Now the DEQ is looking at the proposal.
There's quite a number of things that we will be looking at. Of course, water quality is a big issue in Montana, and anything that affects the quality of Montana's water will be looked at quite closely. But we'll also be looking at some other aspects of the environment. We would have a decision to either accept the application or send it back with deficiencies to remedy or approve the application.
The DEQ would like to have public comments by July 1st, but will accept input up until July 9th when it will make a decision. And now we go to Colstrip, where we get a closer look at future fallout from the earlier than expected closing of Units 1 and 2. The Montana Coal Board approved more than $1.3 million on Thursday to various projects in communities impacted by coal development. Those include a new gym floor for Colstrip High School, new water lines for the city of Roundup, and funds for a new thrift store in Lame Deer. As Q2's Jay Cohn reports, those are just a few examples of how Montana's coal tax serves as the lifeblood for many Montana communities.
To move to second discussion.
John Williams has served as chairman of the Montana Coal Board for the past 14 years. As the mayor of Colstrip, he's witnessed firsthand the highs and lows of the world of coal.
Our real concern is the impact on the communities, and particularly the workers and their families that live and work in places such as Colstrip, Montana. So that's our concern.
Williams says that last week's announcement that Colstrip Units 1 and 2 will close by the end of this year is a true reality check, not just for Colstrip, but for all of Montana.
It's a reality check, of course. You know, we had anticipated we'd have a couple more years to prepare for that. And so the recent announcement of the closure of 1 and 2 at the end of this year came as a surprise to not only to the men and women that work there, but the families in Colstrip, Montana. It came as a real surprise.
Now the storm is here. We could see the clouds coming, but now it's here, and we better be ready. And it just got real.
Jim Atchison heads the Southeast Montana Development Corporation in Colstrip. He says the turmoil in the coal industry has created an atmosphere of doubt and uncertainty for local residents. But he remains bullish on the town's future.
Homes are selling, but they're obviously been reduced in value, of course, and the rental market is full. If you drove into Colstrip today, you would see 6 construction projects going on.
Colstrip's cloudy future is also on the radar of the Big Sky Economic Development Corporation in Billings. Director Steve Arviskow says the impact of losing the 2 older units at Colstrip hits close to home.
So business sitting in Billings, Montana, that has been providing supplies and resources and expertise and doing business with the operators of Colstrip units 1 through 4. Now their business model is being impacted as a result of that. So you have direct job loss, you have the associated business impacts, then you have the tax-based loss.
And to put things in better perspective, Arviskow has crunched the numbers on what closing Colstrip Units 1 and 2 will mean over the next 15 years, beginning with a loss of 1,500 direct and indirect jobs.
$2.5 billion of lost income, less jobs, less income to turning in the market, buying goods and services, eating at restaurants, not paying taxes any longer.
Those lost taxes as much as $600 million between now and 2034, all leading to a statewide population loss of as many as 3,500 people. Given those numbers, one can better appreciate what's at stake as we ponder the future of Colstrip Units 3 and 4 and the extensive environmental cleanup to follow. In Billings, Jay Cohn reporting for MTN News.
And just this week, the Environmental Protection Agency revised its clean energy rule. The White House says the goal behind that move is to give coal power plants a chance to stay in business longer. Opponents say the decision will do nothing to cut the impact of greenhouse gas. And now in court news, a Garryowen woman will spend the next 10 years in federal prison for running over and leaving her boyfriend to die. 35-year-old Renelle Badbear was sentenced Thursday for second-degree murder in the November 2016 crime. Badbear was initially convicted of killing 38-year-old Freeman Benz in Crow Tribal Court and served a year in tribal jail before federal authorities indicted her. A highway painter found Freeman's body near Wyola. An autopsy showed the cause of death was blunt force trauma, and Benz also suffered from exposure as he died. A committee working on a ballot initiative to legalize recreational marijuana in Montana is asking for help. Coalition 406 has opened an online survey. It includes questions on issues like who should be allowed to buy or sell marijuana and how should recreational marijuana be taxed. More than 300 people have already submitted responses. On Thursday, the group met to go over initial survey results in draft ballot language. Organizers say they'll take all the input into consideration as they put together the final measure. Coalition 406 leaders say they plan to finalize their proposed ballot in about a month. The Secretary of State and Attorney General must approve and okay it before collecting signatures. A warning from Montana Attorney General to choose contractors carefully after experiencing storm damage. Attorney General Tim Fox says it's important for homeowners to do their homework. He says so-called storm chasers will show up in Montana communities hit with storm damage looking to take advantage.
Well, oftentimes they'll come through, these fly-by-night contractors will come through and say, we just did a job down the road or down the street from you. We've got some leftover materials. We don't have to mobilize and pay and charge you for that. And they'll try to make it sound like you're going to get a deal, but then they're pressuring you because they say, you know, they need to do it now. They need to get your permission to start work now. And that again is a red flag.
So here are a few tips from the AG's office for hiring a contractor. Start with local, credible contractors. You can check online with the Department of Labor and Industry, check references, call the Office of Consumer Protection and ask about complaints, and require proof that the contractor is bonded and insured.